Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of books that I've been reading that I wanted to spotlight on my channel, and I believe I covered some of them in the most recent Contemporary-thon and Tone Topper blog, so if you haven't seen my thoughts on The Starless Sea, which oh my god was so good, A Guide to the Loves of Geek Girls as well, up there in the card. Go watch it. That covers my thoughts on those two books. Those two books are 5-star reads. They're fabulous. Go read them. One's a portal fantasy and the other one's an anthology of different geek-loving girls coming together to write their experiences. Well done. This video is going to talk about stuff that has some sort of thing. I don't know, like they just all sort of had this theme, and I don't know if I've talked about this one on air before, like on a video before, but it is Aladdin Far from Agrabah by Ayesha Saeed. Now, I have not read Ayesha Saeed book before, but after reading this I really want to pick up one that's like an original. So this is Aladdin Far from Agrabah, which takes place in the movie, but it takes place within the span of the Whole New World song. So it takes place before the scene where Aladdin and Jasmine are sitting on the carpet and like talking about Agrabah as a whole, the whole adventure of this sequence. And I really liked it. I am a big fan of tie-in books, movie like novelizations in that. Reason being, I am disabled, I have epilepsy, and the movie, specifically the movie adaptations to like book to film things, they really help because I can enjoy the movie without risking my health. And I find that Disney is one of those who like publishes original stories but also publishes like actual, like I've got the Aladdin movie tie-in and the Coco one. But that is just my opinion on that. But this story was so good. So it's not a retelling of Aladdin, it's a short story set within the Aladdin movie. And I just loved this. I loved that there was new characters. I loved that there was book entries from this fictional book called Legendary Leaders Across the Ages, and just it was so good, and it was so nice to see a bit more chemistry between Ali and Jasmine, and just we got to actually see Agrabah, like they went to the fictional land of Ababwa, and just to see it full of life, and just it was so good. I really enjoyed it. And if you like tie-ins, or you like want more of the Aladdin 2019 universe, highly recommend this one. I also do recommend that if you have read this and you're looking for more sort of alternate Aladdin retellings, A Whole New World from the Twisted Tale series, which I'll put the cover here, is so good, and just all three of these like stuff just ties in so really well. I also read the matching tie-in 4 stories from the Aladdin World graphic novel. I wouldn't recommend that as much because it dives into a whole lot of other characters and I really didn't enjoy it that much. But this one I heavily enjoyed and heavily want to read more from this author. And just look at this cover, it's gorgeous. The next two are sort of historical modern fiction, like modern historical fiction. Well, it's a tongue twister. Anyway, we have Wife After Wife by Olivia Hayfield, which is a Henry VIII retelling. I know, really, the 6 vibes are coming in strong with this book. This book follows Henry Rose, or Harry Rose. Harry Rose, which I really like that, as he goes through the 80s and lives through all this stuff, and then he, like, it's sort of like Evelyn Hugo, where Harry is like in his 60s at the beginning of the book and he recounts all his wives and his adventures and blah. This book was a trip, okay? This weaved in so many elements from history, and I think that this worked, and one was because this is an adult retelling. And like the way that Olivia worked in a lot of the elements of history and a lot of references to history, and just the way that everything fell into place, I actually liked it. And it's the only book that can make me a smidget sympathise with Henry or Harry the 8th. Okay, I'm not saying the dude was a good dude. Fictional Henry VIII was a monster, blah, 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 blah. Whole spiel. But this character here, I felt just a smidge. And I felt so conflicted feeling that because historically, that man. But just, it was fun. My favourite wife has to be Claire Barr, who is Catherine Parr. I feel that a lot of times when people retell these stories, they make Anne Boleyn probably more cold-hearted. And I really don't agree with, like, for some of her characterization I did agree with, but most of it I really didn't. And that was really sad because Anne Boleyn is one of my favourite historical figures. But Claire Barr was so good. I really did like how they handled Anna of Cleves, where it was more of like an internet relationship, and like it was so cute and so like on the nose, and I was just like, oh my god, yes, I want more. And there's another book called Sister, the sequel coming out I think next year or the year after, called Sister to Sister, which is about Maria or Mary and Eliza and Elizabeth ruling over Harry's business empire. And I am so ready for this. I am so ready. Give me book 2 now. I need it. I need to continue on with the series. Also, this book has 3 covers. There's this one, which is, I think, the UK cover. There's a new UK cover, and then there's this US cover, which I really, really love and really, really want. So this was good. It is a chunkier book. It is like nearly 500 pages. Yeah, it's 433. So it is a chunker, and most of it is spent about Catherine and Anne. But Jeanette was also one that I really loved. Jeanette Jane Seymour. And just, yeah, this was compelling. And if you're intrigued and you like Six and Henry VIII and that story, I think you would really, really like this. And just, yeah, please go into it because it's really, really good. And the final book I'm going to talk about, which I believe I showed in one of my reading vlogs when I went down to Sydney last time, is After She Left by Penelope Hanley. And this was after I read another book, which I think I've got, hang on, I know that I've got it somewhere. Oh no, I lent it to someone. So anyway, I read this book after Meet Me in Venice by Hannah Barbara Hannity, or here's the cover. That was really good, but this was a cover buy that my friend bought me for my birthday. And it was set during the women's liberation movement in Sydney, and it's about this I think she's Irish, an immigrant who comes over who is pregnant, and she gets work, and it's her story, then it's her daughter's story, and then it's her granddaughter's story. So it's 3 generations who follow the same line, and it's all just messy, and it's family drama, and it's like history, and just, it was so good. Like, there were times when I felt such pain for these characters. There were times when I was like angry, particularly at the second woman's, the daughter's story, because I just was like, oh my god, why? But like this, I can't even explain it. Like, it was so good. I will say that this has triggers for rape and sexual assault and just possible verbal abuse, also divorce and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And it was just so good, and just like, I want to read more from this author now because it was so, so good. So it basically follows Deirdre and then her daughter Maureen and then her granddaughter Kiera. And Kiera was my favourite character out of all of it. Like, she was like my favourite. Maureen, I felt, was just a little bit too, like, obviously with the circumstances surrounding her, like, it was just messy, and it was good, and all the characters I wanted to just wrap up in a blanket and give them a hug, save for that one arsehole character, which I still cannot get over. It's like, oh, I forgive you for this bullshit, and I'm like, no, don't forgive him. He doesn't deserve forgiveness. But anyway, if you want a story that's set in the Australian Liberations Movement in the 80s, I highly recommend this book. I really, really loved it. I got through it in 6 hours. That's how intrigued I was. And like, look at this cover, is it not the most gorgeous? So these are just a couple of books that I've been reading that I've been really, really enjoying and sort of just can't get out of my head. Let me know what you think. Have you read any of these? Are you intrigued by any of them? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching and have a fabulous day.